I said it last week, they can't keep getting away with this, and then I learned that the author of the manga is actually pretty degenerate, and the anime studio says, hey, bet we'll even surpass how degenerate some scenes in the manga can get. The BJ innuendos, everything from last week, fantastic comedy gold. But they measured what this episode? All three of them. The framing. The dick battle. Like, what in the... There's nothing wrong to be a little bi-curious. Be completely bi. It's fine. But I already know that these kids would argue that they're the straightest of straight. There's always gonna be, like, especially as you're growing up, like, is it big enough? But the enthusiasm to compare. What's going on this school trip is all I'm saying. They can't keep getting away with this, but damn, one episode to go, and confession might be around the corner. I have a full live reaction to whatever the hell I just witnessed in this week's episode of The Dangers in My Heart over on my Patreon. Want to see my full and good thoughts to this or any of the episodes? It's over there if you're interested. Now, they ended this rather interesting. So, our boy is basically in the girls' room, hidden under the covers. My gut says that Ichikawa and Yamada are going to have a very intimate conversation under the covers when everyone's kind of going to bed, so it'll be very soft, whispering this, that, and the third. And this could be the moment. They end it in a way that's very interesting, because they kind of had me going. I was like, wait, is she just practicing from the manga because she wants to just repeat it to him on this trip? It'd be perfect. But they made it so much more interesting. So... there's a reminder on her phone, and she looks very concerned the whole trip. So it's supposed to be like a 3-day trip, if I'm not mistaken. And she is practicing on her balcony like she's going to recite this to Ichikawa, but then she says the actual name from the manga. So what's assumed is that she has this audition for her favorite story. Yes, that story she wants to apply to Ichikawa. It's crystal clear that she would love to do that so that they can be a thing. But she's so conflicted because and it's such beautiful directing. So when they're talking on FaceTime, right? He has like the little pamphlet for the school trip next to his pillow. And she's trying to say like, oh, you know, I probably can't go to that school trip because I have this audition for this story. This is why I got another one. It's going to be great. And she has to turn off her camera because she realizes, damn, this thing means so much to him. I don't want to ruin it for him. And it's just such a touching moment because the fact that our boy goes from the start of the show, joking, feeling it, doesn't matter, like, he had, like, psychopathic thoughts of being, like, just thinking about murder. And now he's so empathetic that he's crying because he feels guilty second-handedly, not because he forced her to do this, but that she thought she had to do it for him. The idea that we could end up in a situation where she very well could recite that whole scene to him intimately under the covers, but using his name, and she could still go for that audition, is a really beautiful and powerful moment. And if they commit to this and end season 2 on that much of a bang, I literally wouldn't have to see any more of this show to be satisfied with where they could leave it off. A part of me is always skeptical, because I know how these shows like to drag shit out. But this is the moment. This is the home run. This is the slam dunk. Don't mess it up. But then again, who knows? Maybe we'll end up having more dick measuring contests instead of a confession. We never know with this, but, you know, it's interesting how they're able to land that, like, you know, like, they're not full-on teenagers, but, like, they're in that awkward in-between stage from going from kid to teenager, so they're just so sexually confused about everything that it just causes such chaos, and, goddamn, the directing in this show can be second to none. But, in general, I'm interested to see where episode 25 goes, because this could be the defining episode for the fandom, because, you know, there's only so much manga out there, and, you know, now that you're getting it a little more closely caught up, you know, it could be a little bit before you see a season 3, right? And even if, like, there's the complete amount of material needed for another one quart, sometimes production committees want it to be a little farther ahead. If we can end 25 with a confession, and maybe even her landing that job, like, it just... I love that Ichikawa realizes that these jobs are important to her, and more importantly, this specific one would mean so much because this story is so personal to her. And the fact that he immediately drops his feelings of, like, should he do this, should he do that? Confetti girl's ready to throw him a party. It's like, I don't know how it goes exactly. I feel like I might be on the general path of how it could go down. But if they stick the landing next week, certified banger, certified masterpiece of a romance. 100%. Like, on one hand, the show shouldn't be able to keep getting away with it, but it's so freaking funny with how they managed to do the sexual innuendos in this show, or the sexual frustrations in the comedy. Like, I can't tell if the teacher is stupid or just tired and maybe half drunk, but the fact that putting the towel over Ichikawa's head and her being like, no, 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 it's so-and-so. She's like, okay, and just it's like, I don't know, like, a part of me is like, is this just such a trustworthy group of kids? Or are you half drunk on the job? Because as much as they're probably not supposed to drink on the job during a school trip, but you just know those teachers are getting crunked out of their mind. So, it's going to be interesting. I imagine if we don't get the confession under the covers, he will be exposed, and then he'll be thrown back to his room and maybe they'll FaceTime or something, I don't know. Or, they could also go the route because his balcony is above hers. So if he does get separated, they could still have a confession. Like, what if they did something where it's like they're both FaceTiming, like, no, I want to see you in person, go to your balcony. There's just a lot of ways to do some romantic shit here. And they're, like, I swear to God, it looks like they're touching, but they're not. Like, they're so freaking close. I really hope they do it. Like, just give it, I don't need no kiss. I don't need no hand holding. Just boldly admit, hey girl, I want to support your dreams. And I'm going to be your boyfriend while I do it. Just, he's got the gonads now. He's there. I believe in him. All he needs to do is toss away his imaginary friend because I think he's just doing more harm than good anymore. I mean, I don't know, it's just a little crazy. But, you know, I'm excited to see what they do. It's actually interesting because most shows have started wrapping up, but Saturday is still going to be the day next week where I have all the shows I'm watching, and all of them seemingly are about to go out on a bang. And I'm crossing my fingers we get what we are signing up for, but time will tell. Overall, I think up to this point, really, I consider this a 10 out of 10 anime. I love it. It's entertaining. It can be frustrating in all the right ways, and it doesn't really let drama last in a way that you would normally see, especially for the age of the characters. And I think when the frustration is there, a lot of times it's like, oh, they're not 16, 18-year-old kids, right? Like, it's just like, a lot of their emotional immaturity is the reason the show works with the drama it has because they are so young, but they're at a decent enough stage where they're still able to be slightly honest and it avoids a lot of bullshit from occurring. Let me know what you think about whether this episode or what you're hoping to see next week. I think a lot of people are going to agree with what we hope happens next week, but let me know if you got a different opinion down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring the bell so you can get notified when I upload more. And hey, like I mentioned, we have full live reactions to all these wonderful Dangers in My Heart episodes over on my Patreon, and while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Extrin, Power 9987, and we have Jessica Compton. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Have a good one.